Good afternoon and welcome to Alumni Field at Carroll Hutchins Stadium here live in Ann Arbor. You are listening to WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball simulcasted on BTN+. I'm Peter Nasr alongside these Jordan Leff, and we got a really exciting game here today as the Michigan Wolverines and Nebraska Cornhuskers do battle in Game 2 of this 3-game weekend set. And if the game is anything like yesterday's game, Jordan, we are in for a really exciting contest. Michigan with a walk-off win, Ava Costales winning with a solo shot long into the night yesterday to win it in 9 innings. And Jordan, what are you looking forward to in today's game, putting that one aside, a late end to that game, right back at it today for this early afternoon tilt? What are you most looking forward to today?
Well, Peter, Michigan is undefeated at home this season after last night's win in extra innings, and so they're really just looking to keep the streak going. It'd be pretty incredible to see them go the whole season without losing at home, but right now it's something that's kind of looking possible. So look to see them come out strong, maybe put up some runs earlier. Sort of stranded a lot of guys on base last night. Like to see a couple of them scratch through earlier in the game. So some hitting with some runners in scoring position is probably going to be the key for today, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Michigan stranded 4 times in the game yesterday. They had bases loaded, and they left the bases loaded and gave up just the 4 runs were the Cornhuskers. Overall, though, it was an exciting game, and looking forward to another one here today. We got Aaron Hain in the circle for the Wolverines as the defense gets ready to roll here in the top half of the first inning. We'll run through the lineups real quick. First, for the visiting Cornhuskers, we got Billy Andrews leading off, one of the best hitters in Nebraska Cornhuskers history. She was held in check yesterday, but she is definitely the player to watch out for this Cornhusker lineup. We got Sydney Gray in the 2 spot, followed by Payne Cody, Samantha Bland, Ava Breadwell, Caitlin Neal, Brooke Andrews, Bella Bacon, and Caitlin Kaneda to round out the lineup for Nebraska. Thank you once again for tuning in. If you're just about set to get underway here at Alumni Field. Looking forward to this one, Jordan. It should be a fun one.
Should be good. It's a little chilly out here in Ann Arbor today, though.
It is.
Good to mention.
It is quite chilly.
Tough to play softball in the cold like this.
Yeah, yesterday was cool. It was in the 50s yesterday, and as the night went on, it definitely got colder. Today it is 44 degrees, partly cloudy.
It's only going to get colder, too.
It's windy as well, blowing out to right field, but we are just about set to get underway. Aaron Hain fires the first pitch. Called the ball, so 0-1 to leadoff hitter Billy Andrews.
Looked like it might have been a little outside. Pretty good pitch, though, to start.
Billy Andrews hitting .384 on the year. Went 1 for 4 yesterday. She swings through that one to even the count at 1-1. She has 99 career RBI coming into this game today. I mentioned one of the top hitters in Nebraska history is Billy Andrews, and she'll take that 1-1 pitch low. 2-1 is the count.
Michigan playing a little bit of a shift here. Langford at second base playing all the way out on the grass.
And Langford's feet as he now moves in. The pitch from Hain is grounded to short. Easy play. Fires over to first for out number 1. Nice play by Ella McVeigh over at short. Makes a routine play for the first out here in this ball game. Now bring up the third baseman, Sydney Gray, for the Cornhuskers. First pitch to Gray, swung on and missed for strike 1.
Very late on that pitch, the swing timing. She looked to get that front foot down a little earlier on this one.
She was 2 for 3 yesterday, had a double and 2 RBI in the game last night. She'll take that pitch in the zone for strike 2. So Aaron Hain gets ahead on Gray 0-2 quickly here for this batter number 2 in this ball game. Gray, 277 hitter. Here's a pitch from Hain. It's swung on and missed. Might have been tipped, actually. Looks like she did get a piece of it.
Yeah, she chased that one for sure. It was very, very low coming into the zone.
Yeah, farted off, though, so she will survive in this at-bat and get another chance down 0-2. Hain checks her wrist for the pitch. Now rocks and deals. The 0-2 is popped up towards the foul territory on the right side, and it's going to go out of play into the bullpen. So we'll do it again, 0-2 for Gray.
Yeah, and it looked like Stevenson in left right field, is going to have a chance there to get to that one, but then over the fence.
Yeah, wind probably blew that one out. It's blowing towards the right field line. That pitch is well high, forcing Valmont to stand up, and even with that, she pitch just got a glove on it, goes behind her, but no runners on, so no harm there. That will bring the count to 1-2. The Tucson, Arizona native takes 1-2, fouled back in the netting and out of play. Battling here in this at-bat against Aaron Hain. The count will remain at 1-2. Hain rocks and deals. A 1-2. Grounded towards third. That's Erickson who charges forward, fires over to first. 2 up, 2 down here in this first half inning.
That's a great play by Erickson at third to cut it off. Probably ball hit more towards the shortstop, but really a good job to get over there, get to the ball, and keep her momentum going to make that play.
A good aggressive fielding by Erickson, charging that play and making it look routine as well. Here comes Payne Cody, the number 3 hitter, the designated player for the Huskers today. She'll take the first pitch in the zone for strike 1.
Hain doing a really good job today of getting ahead of batters early, throwing strikes very early in the count.
Here's the 0-1, swung on and miss. You mentioned it, 0-2 right away here to Payne Cody. She's hitting .333 on the year. Here's the 0-2. It's outside for ball 1.
Good take there by Cody. It was close.
Yeah, the close one from the former St. John's University Red Hawk, the transfer. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Hain. Just low. Valmont tried to hold that one to get the strike call from home plate umpire Laura King, but the fist doesn't come up, so that evens the count at 2. Hain rocks and deals, a 2-2. Low again. Count will be full now, 3-2.
Some very, very close misses by Hain. All good misses. Surprised Cody wasn't tempted by any of those.
Cody with the good eye here. She's drawn the count full. Here's the payoff pitch, grounded to third. Erickson snags it and fires over to first for the third out of the inning. Cornhuskers go down in order in the top half of the first. And a good start for Michigan.
Yeah, that was a great pick there by Erickson at third base. A little bit of the same kind of play where she had to move over to her left. Did a really good job of catching that ball in the short hop and then delivered an absolute strike to first base for the out. Exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, perfect start for Michigan defensively. Now we'll get the Michigan bats to come on here in this home half of the first inning. Going up against Sarah Harness. She started the game yesterday for Nebraska as well. She went 3 1/3, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs, just 1 earned, as well as 3 walks. So we'll see Harness go back to the circle once again. Back-to-back days for her, getting the work in the start of the contest. And we'll run through the Michigan lineup real quick as we get ready to go here in the bottom half of the first. Ellie Sealer, the leadoff hitter, followed by Langford, Erickson, Thole, Lily Valamont, the catcher, batting 5th, Janisa Conway, Ella Stevenson, Ava Costales, the hero from yesterday's game, batting 8th, and then Ella McVeigh closing out the lineup, batting 9th. Thank you once again for tuning into WCBN Sports, his presentation of Michigan softball simulcasted here on BTN Plus as well. Appreciate everyone tuning in on this beautiful Saturday. Beautiful day. We got the Michigan baseball game across from us down in the distance at Ray Fisher. As the rival Buckeyes are here in town to face off against the Wolverines. We got this game, got the spring game behind us. An exciting day for Michigan athletics, and this softball team is leading that charge as they've been having a great year.
Here we go in the bottom of the first inning. Sealer to lead us off.
Sealer went 5 for 7 in her 2 midweek games last week. And she has 12 sacrifice bunts, including one yesterday. First pitch from Harness is in the zone for strike one.
And Nebraska clearly expecting one of those bunts, but the corner's playing way in here. Ready to charge towards the ball.
First and third basemen, Gray and Bacon, are tight on down the line to Sealer. Harness gets the call, and she rocks and deals. Here's the pitch. That's low, ball one. Even the count at one apiece.
Middle infielder's moving back now. Giving some space, some range to make a play.
Sealer batting .361 on the year. Here comes the 1-1 on a hop to Breadwell, and that'll make it 2-1 on Ellie Sealer, the junior from Monroe, Michigan, downriver from Detroit. Here's a 2-1 from Harness. Line drive deep into right field. That ball is gone! Ellie Sealer with the leadoff home run in the home half of the first inning, and Michigan jumps out to the early lead.
That ball was crushed, Peter. Absolutely no doubt about that one. Destroyed over the right field wall on a frozen rope.
Frozen rope indeed, hitting that first row of fans and in that right field section. And you mentioned it, Michigan started off fast offensively. You got it there with the leadoff home run from Ellie Sealer.
Absolutely. We were just looking for a base hit, but that will definitely work.
So Ellie Sealer, the big-time start for the Wolverines, and brings up Indiana Langford.
There you go. First swing of the game, first run of the game.
Here's the pitch to Langford, the slap hitter. She'll take first pitch for a ball. Harness checks the call and gets ready to deal here. Here's a 1-0. Swung on and missed. Evens the count at 1. Langford batting .292, as I mentioned, a .319 slugging, a .370 on base percentage. She checks the 1-1. That's going to be slapped foul off the Nebraska dugout down the third baseline. So I'll make it 1-2 now on on Indiana Langford. Bottom half of the first, Michigan jumping out to the early lead with the Ellie Sealer leadoff home run.
The Nebraska defense playing very close to the plate.
The tight defense, that pitch, they're going to call foul. It looks like the umpire King is going to say it hit. Langford made the nub of the bat. Langford disagreed, though, and she immediately signaled to check the headsets to get Bonnie Thole, the head coach, to potentially challenge this or at least discuss this with Laura King.
And it looks like they're going to take a look.
Their umpires will convene. I'm not sure if this is reviewable, so we'll see if they just... Laura King wants to get a second opinion. First base umpire Joe Havenhill and third base Troy Coy Kendall. So the three umpires will convene. The count was 1-2 on that pitch. We'll see. It was ruled a foul.
And Langford was pretty certain of the call. She immediately jumped out of the box and signaled to her head coach. Like, hey, we should take a look at this.
She was adamant that the call was wrong. We obviously do not know what the home plate umpires discussing. They are going to review it. So we're going to get our first review early here in this ball game.
Just the second batter of the half inning here. We will take a look.
And we'll see if they show us the replay and the new scoreboard out there in left field here at Alumni Field at Carroll Hutchins Stadium.
This would be a huge call for Michigan. It's a bat not in a great count for them in a 1-2 situation. Getting a base runner here would be massive, especially with the momentum of the 1-0 lead.
Obviously very early in the game and a lot of softball we played, but every at-bat's big. Like you mentioned, this would be a big call early on, so they want to make sure they get it right.
especially considering Michigan held Nebraska to 1 hit and through the 7 innings yesterday. Jumping out to a big early lead here early could really cause Nebraska some problems.
Yeah, you mentioned yesterday's game. They did give up a lot of walks, the Michigan pitching staff did, which did lead to a couple runs crossing the plate for Nebraska. As Harness will get some warm-up pitches in during this review to stay warm with the chilly weather. Wind starting to pick back up towards right field again. We've seen that throughout the morning and early afternoon here in Ann Arbor. We got our window cracked open, but not fully up like I would have liked to if the weather was nice. But
yeah, the flags around the stadium too. The Michigan flags behind the plate and the American flag out in center field, absolutely blowing.
It's a breezy one today. You felt it walking into Alumni Field this afternoon. Oh, well, another lengthy review. There was a long, lengthy review last night when checking if the runner left the bag early in the extra innings of the game, and that one took a while. We got another somewhat lengthy review here, this one early in the contest.
And I'm a little surprised this review is taking so long because it should be a pretty definitive call.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a good camera angle that they're trying to find or if there's a... Here come the umpires. It's like a foul ball. It will be called. So I believe the call on the field will stand, and third base umpire Troy Kendall will give Bonnie Thole an explanation. So it is a foul ball. So the count will remain 1-2, and Langford will get back in the box.
Bonnie Thole not happy about the call. She follows the umpire all the way back to his position behind third base.
So Langford down 1-2. Here comes the pitch from Harness. Slapped foul. So we'll do it again. 1-2 the count to the Conway, California native. The 5'2" sophomore. Harness checking the call from head coach Ravel, and here comes the pitch. That pitch is low, evens the count at 2.
Good take there by Langford to even the count. Tempting pitch. Looked to be a little bit low and outside, probably.
Yeah,
tough to tell from this
we're
angle.
off to the side down the first base line. So some of the specifics on where these pitches are, especially right to left on the plate, is a little difficult to tell from our vantage point. But here's a 1-2. That pitch definitely high. And now draw the count full.
And we'll see the payoff pitch here.
Langford went 1 for 3 and scored a run in the midweek series midweek game against Michigan State, and she takes the payoff pitch and slaps it foul once again, fighting again in this at bat. And the count stays at 3-2.
Really good at bat here from Langford. She's seen almost 10 pitches now.
We've seen a lot of good at bats, or a couple good at bats on both sides here in the early part of this ball game. As this battle continues with another payoff pitch from Harness. Langford will take ball 4. So the Michigan Wolverines get the second hitter on with the walk. So first base will be occupied with 1 out. And here comes Maddie Erickson to the plate. Langford's got some speed at the base passer. She's got 11 stolen bases. Was caught 4 times on the year. And Maddie Erickson, one of the best hitters for the Wolverines, will step in. She'll take that first pitch low for ball 1. Erickson had a career high in the batting average at .370, and she went 2 for 4 yesterday, including tying the game in the 8th inning last night after Nebraska took the lead in the top half. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Erickson. Taken in the zone, fist up from King for the strike to even the count at 1.
And Erickson getting some respect from this Nebraska defense. The outfielders playing very deep, almost to the warning track.
Power hitter she's got. She'll line that one deep down the right field line. That's going to get down into the corner. Erickson takes a long round of first. She'll hold at first, but Langford goes first to third on that play. Good base running by Indy Langford. So the corners will be loaded with nobody out still in this first inning.
Yeah, and really a big hit there from Erickson. Got it down on the line. Looked like Neal was going to have a chance to make a play there in right field, but never really quite got there. That ball got down in a hurry.
And now Kiki Thole will come to the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Kiki Thole, she's been hot recently. She's got 10 home runs in her past 30 games. She'll take that first pitch low. She got 12 home runs on the season. Batting .272 for the Wolverines. Went hitless yesterday, but she did get on base with a walk. Here comes the 1-0 from Harness. That pitch is low. 2-0.
The Wolverines looking dangerous here with no outs.
They got a good opportunity to really add some runs. We mentioned it yesterday we mentioned it earlier that yesterday they left a lot of runners on base. We'll see if they could change the tie today. Here's the 2-0. That pitch is high. Ball 3.
Yeah, and if you're Nebraska, you really don't want to let up a walk here. Right now, you only have 1 runner in scoring position, but having 2 would be possibly really detrimental at this point.
Here is the 3-0 pitch. That pitch is high, no chance at it. So a 4-pitch walk from Harness takes Thole to first base, and that will load the bases for the catcher, Lily Valamont.
Valamont, a pretty good hitter this season, hitting .252.
And this will draw a pitching visit, a mound visit, I should say.
Yeah, and while Valamont's hitting .252 on the year, she's actually .286 with the bases loaded. So a little better with the bases juiced here for Valamont.
And I just said it, like this is a big at-bat early in the game with the bases loaded. Michigan had 4 chances yesterday with the bases loaded. But they ended 4 innings with the bases loaded. You know that Bonnie Thole was preaching that capitalizing on these golden opportunities, especially with no outs like they do here in the first half, in the top half of the inning. You could really jump out to this game early if you could take advantage, get a couple, work some at-bats, even draw a walk or whatever, but just work the at-bats.
Yeah, I was going to say, Peter, it'd be hard to imagine they leave them loaded with no outs. It'd be a very, very impressive escape from Nebraska defense if they could get out of this one without giving up any more runs.
We saw it yesterday with Kaylin Kinney when she was on the mound. She worked out of multiple bases-loaded jams. She is their workhorse for the Huskers, but as of now, she's not in the game. It's Sarah Harness. She's got 4.54 ERA, 5-3 on the year, if I didn't mention that. But Lily Valamont with the bases loaded. She'll take the first pitch in the zone for strike 1.
And I don't mind a first pitch take in that situation. Walk the last 2 batters. Makes a lot of sense.
Make Harness throw it in the zone. She does there to go up 0-1 on the count. Here's the 0-1 to the freshman. In the dirt, blocked well by Breadwell to hold the runners at their stations. That will even the count at 1-1. The Trenton, Michigan native, she had an RBI single in the midweek against Michigan State. Trying to capitalize here with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-1 from Harness. Line drive up the middle, caught on the line. That's going to be a double play as Kaneda caught the ball, and then she touched second as Erickson was off and running. Poor base running there for the Wolverines, and they get 2 outs right there, and the corners will be loaded, however. But a tough break for Michigan on that base-loaded opportunity.
Yeah, and that was a really massive play for Nebraska, getting 2 outs without giving up any runs on the infield fly. Really more of a line drive.
A soft liner that went right to Kaneda. She made the play and touched the bag herself.
And Erickson really had no chance to get back there. I mean, hit directly at Kaneda.
So that'll bring up Janisa Conway with a chance to salvage this inning after Nebraska got 2 quick outs on the double play. The 4 unassisted double play. The 1-0 to Conway is high, 2-0.
Just like that, Nebraska's almost, you could say, back in the driver's seat on this at-bat.
And this becomes a pivotal early at bat for Sarah Harness to try and get out of this inning with just a solo home run to lead off as the only damage. Here's the 2-0 though. That ball's low and in the dirt, hit the umpire, and for Nebraska, thankfully so, as it kept the ball right at the home plate to prevent Langford from scoring from third. So catching a break there again with Nebraska.
Even on the pass ball in Carroll Hutchins Stadium here, it's pretty tough to score because that backstop is really, really close
It is a really
to
tight
the place.
backstop. Here's a 3-0. Takes it for ball 4, so another walk issued, and now reload the bases once again. Harness has already walked 2 batters today. And the bases are loaded once again, this time for Ella Stevenson. The right fielder batting .244 on the year.
A little bit of a confliction here, batting .444 with the bases loaded, but only .194 with 2 outs, so we'll see what comes true here.
She'll pop the first pitch foul into the crowd behind home plate. And she's been on recently. She was named the Big Ten Freshman Player of the Week for the 2nd time this season. And she hit 8 for 19 last week in Michigan's 5 games the previous week. And she leads Michigan with a .412 average of the past 10 games, including 5 doubles. Michigan would take a double here. That pitch is lined down the right field line, but it's going to be right to the right fielder, Neal, who will make the play for the 3rd out. So Michigan picks up the leadoff home run. They threatened to do a lot more, but they strained 2 bases loaded opportunities, and we will stay at 1-0 in favor of Michigan here after 1 innings. You are listening live to WCBN Sports BTN Plus simulcast of Michigan softball.
Yeah, and a little bit unlucky there on that last hit. I mean, that ball was absolutely lasered, but the outfielders were just shifted very, very well there. Not a ton Michigan can do about that. Not really a ton you can be upset about with that.
Yeah, Neal was in good position. She ranged over to her left, made the nice play, and that will strand the bases loaded once again for Michigan. A recurring theme here in this in this series against these Huskers through a game and an inning. So we'll have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Nebraska due up here in the top half of the second. Will be Bland, Breadwell, and Neal. Samantha Bland, she was 1 for 5 yesterday, but she did hit the go-ahead home run in the 8th. In the 8th inning to give Nebraska the lead. That lead was short-lived, however, with Erickson tying it up the bottom half of the frame.
Yeah, and Peter, you'd really like to see Michigan have a quick defensive inning here. A lot of momentum on that last inning from the bats. Left the bases loaded twice, like you said. Getting a quick inning here, getting back up to the plate is exactly what they need. Do not want to let any runners get on here and delay it.
And if you're Nebraska, though, we'll see if they can use the momentum from getting out of that tough situation and try to help out Harness and give her some run support. Here comes Samantha Bland to lead off this inning. First pitch from Hain is low for ball 1.
Laura King behind the plate being very picky today. A lot of pitches that seem close from up here.
Here's the 1-0 from Hain. That's going to be in the zone to even the count at 1. Here comes the 1-1. Rocks and deals, check swing, called, strike 2. So Hain, you mentioned it last half inning, but Hain getting ahead of these hitters early.
Absolutely.
And now she's up 1-2. Chance to put away the leadoff hitter in this top of the second. Here comes the pitch. Taken outside for ball, Valamont.
And it looked like Valamont was standing up to throw it around.
Yeah, it looks like she was ready to throw it around. But that was a ball to even the count at 2. Now Hain will rock and deal the 2-2. That one is in the zone for strike 3. First strikeout of the game for either side goes to Erin Hain. First out of the inning for Michigan with a nice punch out.
And now they will throw it around.
Yep, she got a little ahead of herself, Valmont did on the first one, but was able to throw it around there. Bring up Ava Breadwell, the catcher. She'll take that outside. The Shawnee, Kansas native coming into the weekend, she's tied 5th in the Big Ten with 22 extra base hits on the year. She's batting .319 for the Cornhuskers. The 1-0 is well outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
And a good stop back there by Valmont. Not that it matters with nobody on base, but still a good effort play. Love to see the hustle from the catcher.
Yeah, Bredwell, she's got 6 home runs in the year. The aforementioned, she's got 13 doubles as well. She'll swing on the off-speed pitch. It'll be fouled right in front of the plate. So, make the count 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1 from Hain. In and out of the glove of Valamont for ball 3.
Looked like that one was a little tight. Bredwell clenching up to get out of the way of that one.
Now she's ahead on the count 3-1. See if she can get a good pitch from Hain. Here's the 3-1 from Hain. Swung and foul back in the netting. So now we'll have another full count pitch from Hain. Nice atmosphere here today. Good crowd on hand. Just enjoying a beautiful day of softball. Here's the payoff pitch. Off speed. In there. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Erin Hain. That one on the off-speed pitch in the zone. 2 up, 2 down here in the 2nd inning.
And Hain looking really solid in the circle today.
Yeah, she's been sharp early for these Wolverines. She did not pitch yesterday, but she pitched 6 1/3 in the win against Michigan State on Tuesday. She takes, as the first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. She gave up just 3 hits and 1 earned run. So coming off of a strong outing, and she does lead the team in wins, and opponents batting .218 against her. The 1-0 is in the zone for strike 1, even the count at 1 apiece.
Michigan so far doing exactly what we said they needed to do. Quick, efficient defense.
Here's a 1-1 grounded to first. Thole will scoop it up, beats Needle to the bag. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Huskers once again. So another really good defensive inning for Michigan. 2 strikeouts and an easy ground out. And we'll go to the bottom of the 2nd with the Wolverines leading by a score of 1-0.
And Neal made that last out a close play with her good hustle up the line there. Looked like Thole might have been almost a little slow to the bag. She thought it was a routine play, and then Neal sort of legging it out. Gave her a run for her money there.
Yeah, good on Neal to work to beat that play out, but Kiki Thole making a nice, easy play over at first, beating her to the bag. So we'll go to the bottom half of the 2nd inning with the Wolverines up 1-0 with the leadoff home run from Ellie Sealer being the difference so far early. So Sarah Harness will return to the mound for the Huskers. They're in their gray road uniforms, the long red socks, and Michigan in their all blue jerseys, which are nice combo. They wore white yesterday, wearing the blues today, as we have Connect 4 going on in the outfield, and this kid, I think he almost blew it wide open. He had Connect 4 3 in a row, and I think he missed it the first chance, or something happened that caused the crowd to react. I wasn't
The
looking.
crowd very upset.
They were upset at a potential missed opportunity to Connect 4, but nonetheless, we'll return action here. Bottom half of the 2nd inning. WCBN Sports' broadcast of Michigan softball. Thanks for tuning in with us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Here comes Ava Costales, who gets a nice hand from the crowd after her heroics last night. First pitch to Costales is swung on and missed for strike 1.
Costales very early on that breaking ball. And Harness knew she wanted the fastball, would not give it to her on the first pitch.
Costales went 1 for 3 yesterday with the home run, batting .309 on the year for the Wolverines. The freshman from St. Clair Shores takes the 1-0 or the 0-1 low to even the count at 1. The home run yesterday was her 6th of the season and of her freshman campaign, or career, I should say. Harness checks the wrist for the call. It sets to rock and deal. The 1-1 is lined past the third baseman, Gray, and into left field for a leadoff single. So Michigan once again getting on the first pitch, or on the first at bat. And Costales reaches first base to start this bottom half of the second. Ruled a hit as it should be, as that was a sharp liner off of Gray's wrist and into the outfield.
Yeah, I agree with you, Peter. That was absolutely rocketed at Gray off the one bounce. Really no chance for her to make a play on the ball. Dribbles all the way into really shallow left field. Off the glove. I mean, it probably would have hit the wall had she not been in the way.
McVeigh will show bunt on the first pitch, and she'll lay down a beauty. Advances Costales to first, but McVeigh will be thrown out. Gray with a nice play. Or I should say Breadwell, the catcher, with a nice play on the 2-3 put out, but the runner advances to a successful bunt by Ella McVeigh to bring up the leadoff hitter Sealer, who homered just last inning for the Wolverines.
And Peter, that's exactly what McVeigh was looking for out of that at bat. That was not bunting for a hit, that was bunting for a sacrifice.
She does just that. Costales on second. Sealer will take the first pitch down for ball one. Sealer's home run in the last half inning, her 5th of the year, and her 16th run batted in. Sealer's got the 1-0 count, runner on second base with the 1 out. That pitch is taken in the zone for strike one.
Not a bad take there. Pitch looked to be a little bit outside. Tough to do anything with, especially after the big first inning pull hit home run.
Harness looking to respond with another runner in scoring position opportunity. Here's that pitch, which is low. Count goes to 2-1. Steelers average up to 366 after the leadoff home run last inning. She's batting .333 with runners in scoring position, trying to bring in her second run of the day with Costales at second. Here's the 2-1 from Harness. Low again, 3-1.
And sort of on the flip side of Hain for Michigan, Harness is having a really tough time getting ahead of batters. She's been down in most counts, and I think it's led to a lot of the base traffic we've seen today.
Yeah, she already has given up 3 walks as well, and already will be throwing pitch number 35 here after recording only 4 outs so far. Here is that pitch. Grounded up the middle, through the glove of Andrews. Runner will hold at third. It's Costales stays at third, but that ground ball past the glove of Bree Andrews and into center field for a single. Sealer 2 for 2. Or they're going to rule it an error, as they're going to say that play should have been made by Andrews, and it probably should have. It just rolled under her glove.
It probably should have been. I think you could probably score that either way. She had to move a pretty good distance to her left, but it did eventually go under her glove. She was able to get there.
So
probably could have made the play.
Yeah,
looked like she was...
Go ahead.
Sorry, but it looked like she was trying to make the throw before she made the catch, and that's always what gets you into trouble.
And when you got the runner on second, too, maybe a little bit of a distracting factor, as Indy Langford fouls the first pitch off over the Nebraska dugout to make the count 0-1. Runners on the corners. We saw this in the last half inning, and can Michigan capitalize this time? Here's the 0-1 to Langford. Slapped down the left field line. It's going to be fair. That's going to bring in a run. RBI single for Indy Langford, and that makes it 2-0 Wolverines. She put it perfectly between Gray and Bland at third and left field, finding grass, and this game is now 2-0 in favor of Michigan.
Yeah, and you really couldn't do it any better than that. Right over the third baseman's head, right in front of the left fielder's glove. I mean, that was exactly where that hit needed to be.
Yeah, perfectly placed slap hit. And it looks like we're going to have an early pitching change. Rhonda Ravel will make the switch. So Harness will go 1 1/3, give up 4 hits and 2 earned runs and 3 walks, and she's responsible for the runners on first and second base. In the circle for the Cornhuskers is Emerson Cope now, so she'll get her first action in this series.
An early substitution here for Nebraska in just the second inning.
Yeah, not the start you were looking for out of Harness. But now Emerson Cope, the Topeka, Kansas, Top City native, will step into the circle in her freshman campaign.
And if you're Nebraska, you definitely did not expect to go into your bullpen this early in the game.
Now she's 2-0 on the year with a 4.42 ERA. She started 5 games, appeared in 27 as a pitcher, pitched 31 as 2/3 innings, with giving up 20 runs on 24 hits, and she'll come in inheriting runners on first and second base with just the 1 out from the sacrifice bunt. This is another opportunity for Michigan to capitalize with runners in scoring position and really blow this game open early.
And a lot of speed on the base pass right now for Michigan with Langford and Sealer.
They combined 15 stolen bags between the two, Langford at first and Sealer at second. And Maddie Erickson in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch to Erickson's grounded softly to short. Andrews will field and fire to first, so she'll get the 1 out. Runners advance to second and third, but Billy Andrews makes a play that she needs to, fires over to first base, gets the 2nd out of the inning, but now 2 runners in scoring position.
Right, and like you said, not a bad out there. Ground ball to the shortstop, probably could have seen a double play there, but the speed of Langford sort of threw that off, making it a productive out, moving the runners into scoring position.
Tholes, first pitch to Thole is called for a strike. And that pitch was a pretty soft ground ball, so it definitely would have been a tough play at second, but good job by Billy Andrews making the routine play. Just get the out you need, and now you have a chance to get out of this inning with limited damage. The 0-1 to Kiki Thole is in the zone to quickly go ahead 0-2. Thole walked in her first at-bat. And now she's behind 0-2 with 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch from Cope. That's low. 1-2.
And a big secondary lead there from Langford on second base.
Langford trying to get aggressive. 2 runs potentially on a single. 1-2 from Emerson Cope. She checks the pitch, rocks and deals. That ball is hit high and deep into left field. Back at the wall, and it is gone, a home run! 3-run home run for Kiki Thole, blowing the game open. A 4th spot in the 2nd inning, and that makes it 5-0 Wolverines.
And like the first one, that ball was absolutely crushed. No doubt about it, clearing the fence by easily 20 feet, almost out onto the baseball field, and Ray Fisher absolutely destroyed by Thole.
Kiki Thole, her 13th home run of the year, brings in 3 runs. And she had 3 homers in my first softball call this year at Michigan State. Her 4th home run with me in the headset, which is exciting to watch as Lily Valamont takes the first pitch low. But big at bat from Kiki Thole to clear the bases, take advantage of the runners on, and jump out to a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd.
And this is absolutely the start Michigan wanted.
The pitch to Valamont. The 1-0 is taken for a strike to even the count at 1. Count is even. Cope checks her wrist for the call. She rocks and deals. A 1-1. In the zone for 1 to go up ahead 1-2 as the sun peeked out for a moment, but covered up by some clouds. Now 1-2 count now to Lily Valamont. She lined into a double play her first at bat, and she'll take the 1-2 low to even the count at 2. Average dropped to 250 on the year for Valamont. And for Emerson Cope, just trying to get out of this inning with no more damage. So that 2-2 pitch is high.
Good take there by Valamont. Looks like she wanted to swing, but ended up checking it in time.
Yeah, that pitch was well high. And now bring the count full. So Emerson Cope rocks and deals for the payoff pitch. Line drive right to the first baseman, Bacon, who makes a play right down the line to retire the side, but not before the Wolverines put up a 4 spot highlighted by the Kiki Thole 3-run home run, and they have a 5-0 lead here after 2 innings.
Michigan in a very, very good position here. Exactly where they want it to be. Couldn't have drawn it up any better. I mean, maybe you don't leave the bases loaded in the first inning, but cannot complain with a 5-0 lead, especially with the defense they're playing and the way Hayne is pitching on the mound right now.
Yeah, especially with the way yesterday went. Obviously gave up a lot of, or left a lot of runners on for Michigan to capitalize early, put up a 5 spot. And with the way that Hayne's been pitching early through 6 batters, retiring them all in order, can't ask for a better start in this pivotal series between 2 teams who are right on the bubble in NCAA play. Michigan second in the Big Ten. Nebraska fell to 4th following the loss yesterday. But Nebraska's, I looked at one bracketology. You don't see there are not as many out there on the internet in softball, unfortunately, as you see in like basketball. But the one had Nebraska in the field and Michigan out of the field. So this is a pivotal series to try and improve the resume, as Michigan's just got a couple series left before the Big Ten tournament in Iowa City, and then hopefully an NCAA tournament bid.
If they play the way they're playing right now, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, the start of the season, it was pitching heavy. They pitched really well, but the hitting took a time to really envelop to what it is now. And now if the pitching and hitting are together as strong as they are, as the first pitch to Brooke Andrews is fouled back, if Michigan can combine the pitching they've had from Durkowski and from Hayne with the hitting they've been seeing, they could be a really tough team to beat here in the end of April and into May. So here's the 0-1 pitch to Brooke Andrews. Time call, and that hit Andrews in the elbow. So I didn't see it hit her.
Yeah, it looked totally normal to me.
Must have grazed her elbow. Either way, that's going to be the first base run of the game for the Huskers. And now the first baseman, Bella Bacon, will step up with a runner on first and nobody out here in the top of the 3rd. First pitch to Bacon is grounded up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So first 2 runners get on, hit by pitch, and then a first pitch swing single from Bacon. And the Huskers have a little bit of a threat here with nobody out in the top half of the 3rd inning.
And a good effort there by Langford at second base, laying off of the ball, but out far past her outstretched glove.
Yeah, just found the gap between Langford and McVeigh, and now bring up Caitlin Kaneda with 2 runners on base and no outs. Looks like Kaneda's going to take off her arm cover or some equipment. And here's the first pitch to Kaneda. She'll check her swing, but it's outside for ball 1. Cerritos, California native. The 1-0 to Kane. She'll ground it to short, or to second base. Langford's going to catch it, flip it over to first base to get the only out she could get. Runners advance to second and third. But Langford gets the out. That'll be the first out of the inning.
Yeah, a really good play there by Langford. Really heads up. Used her momentum. Underhand flip instead of the overhand throw. No need to do anything fancy. Try to make an error. Try to make a double play. Get the 1 out. Go from there.
And this becomes a tough at-bat with Billy Andrews, leadoff hitter, having 2 runners on scoring position. She'll follow the first pitch towards Michigan dugout. But Billy Andrews, she's got 58 home runs in her career. She's the all-time home run leader in Nebraska history. Multiple Big Ten Player of the Week awards. She's 3rd in the Big Ten with 26 extra base hits. She leads Nebraska in most statistical categories in her career and in the season, but she'll swing and miss on that 0-1 pitch, and she's behind 0-2.
This would be a massive strikeout for Hayne if she could get this converted here.
And she's ahead 0-2 now with just the 1 out. Here's the 0-2 to Andrews. Called strike 3. Big time strikeout, like you said. That'll be the second out of the inning. A nice crowd, nice ovation from the crowd at that. A big time strikeout. And now some T-shirts are going to be, or not T-shirts, but little mini softballs are going to be thrown into the crowd for each strikeout. That's a big time strikeout 2 outs now. Runners still in second and third with Sydney Gray due up. Here's a pitch to Gray. She's going to line it off a weird hop past Erickson at third, and that's going to get into left field and bring in a run. Took a weird hop past the diving Erickson, and Nebraska's going to get on the board and score there with a 2-out single from Sydney Gray.
Like you said, not much Erickson could do there. Took a weird bounce off the dirt and really just jumped up at her 2 or 3 feet right before she would have made making the play. And then a really quick relay from Sealer in left field to hold Bacon at third.
So corners loaded for Payne Cody. She'll take the first pitch in the zone for strike 1. And correction, it'll be Emerson Cope, the pitcher, hitting here. She'll take that pitch low for ball 1. So 1-1 the count. Cope has a chance to get some of the runs she gave up right back with the runners on the corners and 2 outs. She'll take the 1-1 low, 2-1.
Looks like Michigan is something they want to talk about, and so
Jennifer Brundridge, the pitching coach, we'll check in on Hain and discuss with Hain and Valamont. But Cope hitting this year, she's batting .270 as a hitter with 10 hits on the year and 1 home run for Emerson Cope, the Topeka, Kansas native. So top of the third, it's 5-1 as Nebraska got 1 run back. Trying to add to that and get right back in this game. Here's the 2-1 from Hain. Off speed is in the zone to even the count at 2, and this becomes a big pitch for Hain to get out of this inning with limited damage done.
Yeah, and a really great pitch there after the mound meeting to get back ahead.
Here's the 2-2. Swung and fouled. Fighting it off as Cope. She'll live to see another pitch. Count even at 2 once again. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and third. Here's the pitch from Erin Hain. Swinging a line drive deep into the right center field, and that ball is gone! Emerson Cope sends it out. 3-run home run, and Nebraska's right back in this game. It's 5-4.
Yeah, and like you said, again, that ball was absolutely crushed. Every home run we've seen today has been just destroyed. That one, another frozen rope into the bleachers out in right field. And this, just like that, is a ball game again.
5-4. Emerson Cope's second home run of the year runs back for herself as she'll be, we assume in the circle in the bottom of the third, but score is now 5-4. Samantha Bland stepping into the dish for Nebraska. First pitch is fouled softly. Diving attempt by Valamont. She will just pass her outstretched arms, so that'll be strike 1. But the tide has shifted after that 3-run home run as Nebraska answered Michigan's 4 spot with one of their own.
Yeah, and like you said, even though Michigan still has the lead here, it feels like there's a lot of momentum in that Nebraska dugout.
And Bland, she struck out looking in her first at-bat. Down 0-1. Here is the pitch. Swung and fouled back into the netting. So she'll go quickly behind 0-2 now.
Regardless, a really big inning here for Nebraska, showing some life.
And that's something we've seen all year from Nebraska. They've won 15. They've trailed in 15 of their 25 wins. That pitch is just outside to make the count 1-2. But I was saying Nebraska, in 15 of their 25 wins this year, they were trailing at some point, including 4 games when they're trailing after 6 innings. They enjoy playing from behind, but she'll swing and miss there to end the frame. So Erin Hain gives up the home run and a 4 spot, but she gets the strikeout there to end the inning. So go to the bottom of the third. Nebraska gets 4 back. It's now 5-4. What a game we've got so far here, Jordan.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good one. I'm looking forward to the next 4.5 innings here. Should be a close contest all the way to the end if this keeps up.
Yeah, Both teams are hitting the ball well. Nebraska just took a little bit to get that going, but they answer with a big-time home run into the right center field stands from Emerson Cope. It's going to be Conway, Stevenson, and Costales on the mound for Michigan, or to bat for Michigan, and Emerson Cope will return to the circle for Nebraska. Thank you once again for tuning into WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball, University of Michigan Student Radio, broadcasting live on YouTube, as well as simulcasted on BTN Plus here today. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'm Peter Nasr, alongside me is Jordan Leff, and we mentioned we've had a good one so far. 3 home runs combined between the two teams, and 9 runs early after the bats were held in check yesterday, particularly with runners on base. Today, both sides have been able to capitalize and plate some runs early on.
Yeah, and both teams really relying on the long ball early to get those runs driven in. Doing a really good job of getting some guys on base and then cleaning it up in one swift stroke.
So Janisa Conway will lead off for Michigan. The first pitch is in the dirt for ball 1. Corner infielders were in on that last pitch to the freshman from Olivehurst, California.
Yeah, and like you said, Nebraska sticking with this corners in sort of formation here.
She'll take the 1-0 pitch low for ball 2. Conway walked in her first plate appearance in the first inning. Here's a 2-0 from Cope. That pitch is in the zone, called strike 1. So Cope, here's a 2-1 pitch from her. Swung on and foul tipped. So I'll even the count 2-2 now to leadoff hitter Janisa Conway.
And Michigan at the plate's been doing a really good job of both being aggressive but also not chasing pitches. They've swung at pretty much every strike. Have not seen a lot of called strikes against Michigan, but also working counts pretty well.
The 2-2 will be fouled back towards the Husker dugout. So count will stay at 2-2. So we'll do it again here. With the count even at 2 to Janisa Conway. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just outside for ball 3. So we'll have another full count here in this ball game. We've seen a handful of those already as these Michigan batters have been working counts. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off. We'll do it again.
If you're Nebraska, you really would like to get this leadoff out, rather not have a base runner with no outs to start the inning, especially with all the runs that are being scored in this game.
And here's the payoff pitch. That's going to be low. And just as you say it, Michigan gets the leadoff runner on for the 3rd consecutive inning to start this game.
And more often than not, if you walk the leadoff batter, they're going to score. Just it's kind of the nature of the game, but I guess actually that hasn't really been the case today. Seeing in the first inning that stranded the first runner, and then we saw that again.
Ella Stevenson will bunt again. That one got loose from Gray, but she was able to recover and make the play to first base. Good job by Gray staying composed as she mishandled the bunt for a moment. She'll complete the throw over to first base to get the first out of the inning. Ella Stevenson with her second sacrifice bunt of the game, advancing Conway over to second base with 1 out.
Yeah, a little bit of an interesting situation there. Clearly a sacrifice bunt from Stevenson, but almost turned into a hit.
And here comes Costales. She'll drive it deep into right field, back at the wall, and Neal makes the catch as she's... But, oh my, as Conway tags from second and scores. Heads up base running from Janisa Conway, tagging from second. as Neal made the catch with her back to the wall, and she just didn't get the ball in time, so Michigan will add a run on a sacrifice fly from second base. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, really some incredible base running there from Conway. And that ball probably would have went out if Neal hadn't been able to get there in right field, excuse me. That ball, I think, was over the yellow line, and she sort of brought it back into play with an amazing catch.
Yeah, caught right at the wall, but then Neal did not bring it in, and aggressive base running from Conway puts the runner in to make it 6-4. 2 outs now for Ella McVeigh, and she'll take the first pitch outside for ball 1. You don't see that tagging from second and scoring too often, but really aggressive base running from Conway to get it done. Base is empty now, though. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. McVeigh will take that pitch in the zone to even the count at 1. Ella McVeigh, one of the 3 starters on this Wolverine team, hitting over 300. Her average at 301. She'll slap that one foul down the third base line. So it'll be 1-2 now with 2 outs.
And like you said, interestingly, one of the 3 starters on the Michigan team batting over 300, yet hitting it out of the 9-hole for Michigan here.
Cope will check her wrist. Gets ready to deal the 1-2 pitch. That's in the dirt. So I'll even the count at 2. Got past Breadwell. No runners on, so no harm there, but we'll have a count even at 2. Bottom of the third, Michigan gets 1 run back on the sacrifice fly, scoring Conway from second base. And they lead by 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Cope with 2 outs. That's going to be skied into the air to left field. Charging in, it's Bland, and she'll make the play to retire the side. Michigan gets 1 run, no hits. They score on a run on a walk, sacrifice bunt to second base, and then a sacrifice fly, bring the runner in from second. So manufacturing the runs there to end the inning for the Wolverines with a 6-3 lead.
Despite giving up the 4 runs in last inning, it looks like Hain will be back out on the mound. A little bit of an interesting move there by Bonnie Thal. But really, other than that home run, she looked incredible the whole game, so I guess not that surprising.
Yeah, she's been strong in this game and all season for these Wolverines. She'll be back in the circle. Hain and Durkowski have combined for pitching 76% of the innings for Michigan this season coming into the series. We saw Hannah George pitch a couple innings yesterday in relief of Durkowski. But Hain back in the circle again for Michigan with a 6-4 lead. Michigan 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Nebraska 4 runs on 3 hits with the 1 error as we head to the top of the 4th inning here at Alumni Field at Carroll Hutchins Stadium here in Ann Arbor. Thanks for tuning into WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball, simulcasted on BTN+. Bregman's going to lead off, or Bregwell is, excuse me, is going to lead off for Nebraska. She's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here's the first pitch from Hain. Off speed in the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, another really strong start there from Hain to start off with a strike, get ahead.
Here's the 0-1. That one's going to be outside, even the count at 1.
Not a bad pitch there, though. A little bit of a chase offering early in the count.
Trying to get Bredwell to swing. The 316 hitter laid off there to even the count at 1. Here's the 1-1 from Hain. That one's low, 2-1. Hain checks her wrist for the call, and she gets ready to deal the 2-1 pitch. High, check swing. The appeal to first, she did not go, says Joe Havenhill at first base. So that'll even the count at 2. Breadwell gets into the right-handed batter's box. 3-1, excuse me, is the count. That pitch is in the zone for strike 2. The umpire was about ready to ring her up, then realized the count was 3-1. So that'll make the count full 3-2. The scoreboard said 2-2 for the moment. Then they switched to 3-1. Confused herself a little bit there behind the plate. Here's a payoff pitch, though. That one rolls in. So that'll be a leadoff walk to Breadwell. And Nebraska gets their second consecutive inning with the leadoff runner reaching base.
Right, and like we said, that leadoff walk is usually going to score. So
That
interesting to see how they respond here.
It did in the last half inning for Michigan and the previous one for Nebraska. And here comes Caitlin Neal, the right fielder. Lefty will sky it into left field, charging in and off the wrist of Sealer in left field, but the ball was fouled. So Michigan catching a break that the ball landed foul as that hit off the heel of Sealer's glove.
Absolutely a monster break for Michigan that she was in foul territory trying to make that play.
So will be strike 1, but a missed opportunity to get the first out of the inning. Here's the 0-1. Outside for ball 1 to even the count. Breadwell, not too much of a threat to steal. She just got 1 stolen base in 2 attempts. She does have 27 runs on the year. Here's the 1-1 to Neal. That one on a hop into the dirt. Played by Valamont. Count 2-1 now. Breadwell the runner at first, and we got no outs here in the top of the 4th. Here's Haynes, 2-1 pitch. That hits Neal. So that's going to put 2 runners on with no one out here in the 4th inning. Nebraska threatening once again.
It looks like Michigan may want to talk about this.
Looks like Bonnie Thole is talking with the home plate umpire. We might get a change of some sort, so we'll wait to see what the switch becomes. So first and second loaded once again for Nebraska with nobody out.
And it looks like Michigan is going to go to the bullpen here.
Bonnie Thole talking with the entire infield. We'll see if what the exact switch is. Looks like Hannah George is going to come in for Michigan. I didn't see her in the bullpen, but she is coming in to pitch for Michigan. So we saw her come into the game yesterday, and she recorded the win, pitching a scoreless 9th inning, giving up 1 hit. And she'll come on with first and second loaded and nobody out in a 2-run ball game here in the top half of the 4th. Big position for Hannah George to come into, and we'll see how she does here today. So she'll get a few warm-up pitches in the circle. George, she had a good series against Iowa last weekend. That exciting series where Michigan had 3 come from behind victories. She earned 2 wins in relief in those games. Her first 2 for Michigan.
And in just over 25 innings of work for George. She's given up 27 hits, 13 runs, 9 of them earned, 5 walks and 11 strikeouts, and only 1 home run. So pretty solid for George with only a 2.49 ERA.
Yeah, so this is a big position for Hannah George to come in and try to limit any damage from occurring with 2 runners on. It's going to be Brooke Andrews to hit for Nebraska, hitting .316 on the year. She was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat in the 3rd, and she came around to score on the home run. Brooke's sister, Billy, the 2 Andrews sisters on this squad, both of them having a lot of success for these Cornhuskers. So nobody out, infield in, as Brooke Andrews grounds it softly to second base. Langford on the charge, fires over to first, gets the out. runners advance to second and third, but Michigan gets the one out they can with Indy Langford charging on the soft take ground ball and fires it over to Thole for the first out of the inning.
A great play there by Langford. Good charge, little off-balance throw. Not a huge distance to make the throw, but still a great play. It's a tough play to make.
And here comes Bella Bacon in the dish. She'll line it right to Kiki Thole, who makes the play. So quick 2 outs for Hannah George in the circle. And now with second and third loaded, Hannah George will face Caitlin Kaneda with a chance to get out of this jam.
Yeah, and you'd like to think Michigan will be a little bit more comfortable here with 2 outs, but still a big third out that they need here.
And tying run on second base for Kaneda. She'll take ball 1 in the dirt. Neal at second, Breadwell at third. Kaneda in the box. She's 0 for 1 today with her ground out to second in her first at-bat. This is a pivotal at-bat for both sides. George rocks and deals. That pitch is in the zone for strike 1. So the count goes to 1-1 to Caitlin Kaneda. Hannah George trying to get out of this inning. She inherited 2 runners on with nobody out. She got 2 quick outs. That pitch is fouled off. And George is now 1 strike away from getting out of this with no damage done. Second and third loaded, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. George steps in the circle. Kaneda showing bunt for the moment. She'll pull back and takes that pitch outside. Count even at 2.
A really close pitch there. Looked like Kaneda wanted to swing for a second, but ultimately held up. Pitch being a little bit outside.
Kaneda showing bunt once again with 2 outs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. She'll pull back and swings and chops it over to short. Langford will field at second, fires the play to get the out. And that was the 3rd out of the inning, but they would have gotten the out at home as well. So Michigan gets out of that inning with no harm done. Langford to Thole on the 4-3 putout. Michigan escapes the inning with no damage done, and it stays 6-4. Big time outs from Hannah George in relief there.
Yeah, and like you said, she really got 4 outs. The play at first would have been fine to end the inning, and then Thole turned around and made a play to the plate, and they would have had that out too. So little extracurricular activities there for Michigan.
Now that play was bang at first. I wonder if they called her safe, if that out would stand after the fact anyway. Maybe just insurance, or Kiki Thole just had a little brain fart and forgot how many outs there were. Either way, though, Michigan gets out of that with no damage done. That's a big-time defensive inning for Michigan. Nebraska goes to 3-8 with runners on base, 2-7, 2-4-7 with runners in scoring position. That was a big opportunity for the Huskers to potentially tie the game, but they strand the 2 there at second and third, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Saley 6-4. Thanks for tuning in to WCBN Sports presentation of Michigan softball with the BTN Plus simulcast here live from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
We just about at the halfway point here. Looking still like a pretty good game. Michigan leading in both hits and runs for the moment.
Yep, Michigan with 6 runs, 5 hits, no errors. Nebraska with 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. It's going to be the 1-2-3 hitter for Michigan. Here in the bottom half of the 4th, Emerson Cope remains in the circle. She's pitched an inning and 2/3 so far, giving up 1 hit and 2 earned runs. Sealer to lead off, who's 1 for 2 today. She homered and then reached on an error her last at bat. So 1 for 2, but she scored twice today.
And like you said, the lineup card here gonna turn over for the Wolverines.
So Sealer will face Emerson Cope, and the first pitch is in the zone for strike 1. Cope checks the single infielders in on the corners to Sealer. Here's the 0-1, and and that's going to be fouled down the left field line. So quickly the count goes 0-2 to Ellie Sealer.
And a good swing there from Sealer. Looked like it might have gotten down for a second, but it had a lot of hook on that ball. Ultimately just tailed off a little too much.
So Sealer behind 0-2 on the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Here comes the 0-2 from Cope. Swinging chopped foul once again, or I should say a hooked foul similar to the last one. That one goes into towards the bullpen near the bouncy slide thing over and out of play and on the left side of the field here at the Hutch. We were talking about that pregame, the little blue bounty slide for the kids out here. Here's the 0-2 to Sealer. That one's going to hit Sealer. So Sealer will get on base, down 0-2, hit by pitch. First runner on base once again for Michigan. They get the first runner on, or the leadoff runner on, I should say. So Sealer will go to first base, and Indy Langford will come up with a runner on first and nobody out. Langford is 1 for 1 today. She walked in her first at bat, and then she singled and brought in a run in the second inning. She'll show bunt or slap it. That will be fouled. No balls, 1 strike. Grain Bacon charging on that slap attempt from Langford.
Right, and like you said, a good attempt there. Couldn't quite pull it back. It looked like she almost was a little hesitant at the end.
Here's the 0-1 to Langford. Shows bunt, pulls back, and that'll be outside, 1-1. Runner on first here, nobody out. Bottom half of the fourth inning. Infield in for Nebraska. Cope winds and deals. Langford shows bunt. They're going to check the runner at first. Sealer, she is safe. As Bredwell tried to throw behind Sealer. Bacon applying the tag, but it was emphatically signaled safe by the first base umpire, Joe Havenhill. Count 2-1 now. Here's Cope's 2-1. Langford gets the bunt down. That's going to be perfectly placed in time to get the runner. So runner advances to second, but Langford gets the bunt down and moves the runner over. She was close to beating that one out, though.
She was, but I think that was more of a sacrifice kind of play there from Langford. Moving Sealer over to second, still with 1 out here. But like you said, yeah, she did almost beat it out. We've had a couple of those today where clearly sort of intentional sacrifice bunts and then almost gotten lucky and gotten a base runner out of it too.
Now it looks like Rhonda Ravel, the head coach for Nebraska, speaking with Laura King, and now she's going to convene with the other 2 umpires. I think when that ball was bunted, it kind of like hit the bat when she dropped it. So I'm curious to see if they're going to try to adjust the call on that one. It was a little awkward. The bump just barely got down in front of home plate, and then when she dropped the bat to run over to first, I couldn't tell if it hit the bat or if it just landed right next to the bat, but Rhonda Ravel wants to chat about it.
It did look like it hit the bat. I don't know what the technical call would be if that were the case. I think if anything, it would probably just be a foul ball.
We will see. As of now, though, there's 1 out, and runner on second base is Sealer. And it looks like we're going to stick with that call. Rhonda Ravel will not go challenge the play. She's in her 32nd year at her alma mater here in Nebraska. The winningest coach in any sport for the Cornhuskers, similar to Carol Hutchins here, the former Michigan great softball coach, the namesake of the stadium. First pitch to Erickson is taken in for strike 1. Erickson 1 for 2 on the afternoon today. She's got a runner in scoring position and just 1 out, trying to extend this Michigan lead. Here's the 0-1. That's lifted high towards left field. Bland is under it. Runner tags but holds. So Erickson flies out. Runner forced to hold at second. That's Sealer. And that'll be 2 outs now. Bring up Kiki Thole.
Right, and like you said, a little bit of a loud out there. And a great throw-in by Bland to hold Sealer at second base.
Yeah, Sealer showed the tag, but pulled back, and the throw is accurate. Thole, takes the first pitch low for ball 1. She homered her last at bat. 3-run bomb to make it 5-1 Michigan back in the second inning. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second base. Cope's pitch to Thole. Low 2-0. Thole's average up to 278 on the year after hitting home run number 13 in her last at bat. Here's a 2-0. That is missing to make it 3-0 now. And we'll see how aggressive they are with the 3-0 count, a base open at first with Thole up here. Lily Valamont in the on-deck circle. Here's a 3-0 pitch. That one will miss the zone, so a 4-pitch walk for Kiki Thole fills up the open base at first. So we'll be first and second loaded with 2 outs with Lily Valamont coming up to the plate. Looks like they weren't too keen on pitching to Kiki Thole in that at bat.
Not at all.
Well, here's Valamont with 2 runners on. She'll sky the first pitch deep into right center or left center field. The center fielder Brooke Andrews will field it and make the play to retire the side. So Michigan gets 2 runners on, both on walks. No runners score, and the score will remain 6-4 as we head to the 5th.
Right, another loud out there to end the inning. That ball going all the way to the warning track in center field. Looked like it might have had the distance. Certainly had the airtime.
Yeah, so 2 deep fly outs. That one towards just in front of the warning track, in front of the Michigan words in the right center field wall. Easy play though for Brooke Andrews to make. So we go to the top half of the 5th inning with the score 6-4 in favor of the Wolverines. Hannah George back in the circle for Michigan. She came in relief of Erin Hain, and she pitched really a strong inning of work to get out of the jam that she came in with. Will be the top of the batting order for Nebraska. Billy Andrews, Sydney Gray, and Payne Cody. 1, 2, 3 for the Huskers. And it's been a fun one so far. We've mentioned that. And as we move into the later parts of the ball game, still anyone's game.
Right, you'd really like to see Billy Andrews make some noise here if you're in Nebraska. She's been really quiet all series. By far the best hitter in this lineup. Gotta expect at some point she's gonna wake up the bat and do some damage here.
Yeah, it's expected that she's gonna make an impact in any series that she plays in. Just has the 1 hit yesterday. She's 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. She will lead off this top half of the 5th inning. Here's the first pitch from George. Andrews will line it over to Kiki Thole, who makes the play, touches the first base bag. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th inning.
Right, but at least a hard hit ball there from Andrews. Something we haven't seen definitely in this game, and I believe last night as well. So good to see a little bit of life out of the bat.
Yeah, but good job by the Michigan pitching staff to keep her in check so far. Here comes Sydney Gray with 1 out and nobody on. She'll take the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. Gray's 1 for 2 today. She grounded out to third her first at bat. And then she singled and drove in a run and then later scored in the 3rd inning in her second plate appearance. So 1 for 2. She takes the 1-0 pitch, lines it right to Indy Langford, in and out of her glove, flips it over to first, not in time. So that liner right to Langford, a pretty soft line drive that just went in and out of Langford's glove. She picked it up off the ground, flipped it over to first. Umpire called it safe. So Sydney Gray beats out the throw at first, probably going to be ruled an error. But Nebraska gets the tying run to now enter with Emerson Cope who homered her last at-bat, her first at-bat of this game. Here's the first pitch from George. Cope takes the ball one. Just missing there.
Yeah, and like you said, definitely an error.
Yep, he'll put the error on the board.
At second base there.
Yeah, costly one there from Langford. One she definitely wants back, but just got to move on to the next one. One out with the runner on first, which is Gray. Cope in the box. She'll take that pitch inside. Counting 2-0. Becomes a big at-bat for the Topeka, Kansas native. Trying to tie this game with one swing. She's going to slow chopper to Erickson. She charges, fires over to first, gets the out. Good play by Maddie Erickson to get the out at first. Runner does advance to second now with 2 outs. So Samantha Bland will come up with a runner in scoring position. She's 0 for 2 today with 2 punch-outs, one looking and one swinging.
She would definitely look to turn that around here, though, hitting over 300 on the season.
And it's a big opportunity to do it with the runner on second base. She'll ground the first pitch to short. That's McVeigh, who fires over to first. Not in time. Runner heads home, but they're going to get her at home. Sydney Gray, aggressive base running, rounding third, head home. Kiki Thole aware. The throw from McVeigh to Thole was not in time, but then Thole threw it right down to Valamont, who applied the tag at home. And Michigan gets the out at home. The 6-3-2 put out. I believe that's how it would be scored. Either way, that ends the inning. No runs, no hits for the Huskers, or 1 hit, I should say, for the Huskers, and the game stays 6-4.
Right, and like you said, a really incredible play there. You saw last inning, they made the play at first, got the out at first, and then went home for what would have been the 4th out. This time, the same kind of thing happened. The play was being made before the call was even made at first, and paid off as the call at first ended up being safe.
Hey, you're exactly right. That it happened the last inning, but the runner was out at first, so the play at home didn't matter. This time the runner was safe at first, so the throw home did matter, and Kiki Thole threw it on a line right to Valamont, who applied the tag and made the play to get the out at home and keep the game at 6-4 in favor of Michigan. Great defensive play by the Wolverines there. So Emerson Cope back in the circle for the Wolverines. He's pitched 2 2/3 so far, giving up just the 1 hit and the 2 earned runs that she gave up right away when she came in. Since then, she settled down and really played well, plus homering offensively herself to keep her Huskers in the ball game. She's going to face Conway, Stevenson, and Costales here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Michigan leads by 6-4. Janisa Conway has 2 walks today, and she'll take that first pitch low. She scored her last time she got on base, but this is her first official at-bat.
Yeah, and she scored on that amazing tag-up play from the almost home run in right field.
1 ball, no strike. That's going to be lined over to shortstop. Andrews fires over to first in time, stretching his bacon. Conway in the crowd here thought she beat it out. We're going to see if Bonnie Thole will ask for the headsets, and I think she will. A bang-bang play over at first. Nice play by Billy Andrews. Fired it over to Bacon, Bella Bacon, who stretched out to make the play. Conway in the crowd thinks that she beat it out. I thought it was really close. I don't know if you have an opinion on that one, as we'll go to review it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's right in front of us. It looked extremely close. Honestly, I thought the call was going to be safe on the last 2 sort of bang-bang plays that Michigan was defending on that ground ball to Langford, and then what would have been the last out on the ground ball to the shortstop. Both got called safe when it was super close, and so I assumed, okay, it's another really close play at first, probably going to be another safe call, but then saw that punch out. Probably could have went either way. As you see, they overturned the call here.
Yeah, quick
It'll be
review.
safe.
Janisa Conway with a little celebration over at the first base bag as she beat it out. Nice aggressive base running, using her speed to beat the throw. So Michigan, they've gotten their first runner on in every inning so far today. So they've been aggressive early, and they've had runners on base for these Nebraska pitchers to deal with every frame. Here comes Ella Stevenson. She shows bunt like she has her previous 2 at-bats. She'll pull back there, and the ball is low for ball 1. Or correction, she lined out her first at-bat, but she did have a sacrifice in her previous at-bat. And looking possibly to do that again here to move Conway over to second. Runners, or corner infielders predicting the bunt. She shows bunt, and she'll foul that bunt back. Count even at 1.
You probably assume at this point she's going to be looking more for a hit. With 2 strikes, tough to get a bunt down.
I believe it's 1-1. I think the first pitch was a ball.
No, my apologies.
you're
It looks
good.
like she pulled back on the first one.
Yeah. So she still's got 1 pitch at least to show bunt, and she won't, though. She will swing right back to the pitcher who doubles up Conway at first. Emerson Cope made the play on the liner, threw it over to Bella Bacon. A 1-3 double play. The second time we've seen one of those crazy double play lineouts for Michigan. That clears the bases, gets 2 quick outs. Emerson Cope helping herself out with that snare of the glove and the fire over to first.
Yeah, and like you said, Conway really, again, had no chance getting back at first. She dove back in immediately, but still with that momentum, moving towards second off the big hit.
First pitch to Costales is well outside for ball 1. She's 1 for 1 with a single and a run score, and then a sacrifice fly her last at bat. 2 outs, 1 ball, no strikes. That pitch is high. 2 balls and no strikes.
And a good leave there by Costales.
Nebraska trying to get their 3rd consecutive inning without giving up a run. Or actually, second inning, I should say. That pitch is in the dirt. 3-0. Costales has bumped her average up to 321 with the single in her first at-bat. And then she sacrificed in Conway to get RBI number 23 on the year. And she faces a very hitter-friendly 3-0 count from Cope. That pitch is outside, so another 4-pitch walk. Costales reaches base for the 2nd time today. That's Cope's 3rd base on ball. And Ella McVeigh, the number 9 hitter, will come up with a runner on first and 2 outs.
After her last at-bat, her average dropping just below 300 at 298.
Yep, she's 0 for 1. She flew out to right field in her first at-bat, or left field, excuse me, in her first at-bat. She shows bunt, pulls back, and slaps it softly to short, or to second. Kaneda will fire it over to Bacon at first, and that will retire the side. So Michigan gets no runs on that half inning. Score remains 6-4 as we are through 5 here in Ann Arbor, with Michigan leading the Nebraska Cornhuskers in Game 2 of this 3-game set. Here live from Ann Arbor, you are listening to WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan softball with that BTN Plus simulcast. It's been a fun one, Jordan. As we head to the later parts of this game, Hannah George back in the circle for Michigan.
Yeah, and it's been really competitive the whole way through so far. It's going to come down to the last 6 outs for each team here.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Nebraska, they thrive in that position when they're trailing late in ball games. They've won 5 games this year when trailing by multiple runs in the same situation, and they've trailed in the majority of their wins this season. So if there's a team that's going to come back, it is these Cornhuskers. So if you're Michigan, you got to hunker down, play solid defense, and try to get out of here with a series win before the finale tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So it's going to be the catcher, Breadwell, to lead off for Nebraska. It'll be Breadwell, Neal, and Brooke Andrews due up for the Huskers. We got a couple of defensive substitutions, I believe. I heard. I missed them, so we'll get you those in a moment.
It'll be Janelle Alaniqua coming in for Langford at second base.
So Alakwa will get in at second base for Langford. There it shows up on our screen. Hannah George stays in the circle, though, to Ava Breadwell. She's 0 for 1 today. She'll ground the first pitch over to short. McVeigh fires over. Easy, one pitch, one out here in the top of the sixth. Ella McVeigh's been sharp today at short. Makes another routine play to get the first out of the inning with Caitlin Neal due up for the Huskers.
Yeah, so I mean they hit the solo home run in the second and third. They got the second to
Neal hit by a pitch and a ground out. Her two at bats. She'll ground this first pitch to Erickson, who bobbles it and can't make the play. So Nebraska reaches on the error. A roller to Erickson. She was just trying to field it and it hit in and out of her glove, and then she couldn't regain control. So Nebraska gets a runner on with one out here, and it's going to bring up Brooke Andrews to the dish for the Huskers. She's 0 for 1 today. Hannah George rocks and deals. First pitch is low for ball one. One out here in the top half of the sixth inning. Nebraska has a tying runner at home in Brooke Andrews.
Right, you can really say this about any situation from here on out in this game, but this top half of the inning is absolutely key. Michigan to get out of here without conceding a run would be huge.
Yeah, the unearned run at first currently from the error by Erickson to put Neal at first. That 1-0 pitch was fouled off the plate, so we're going to have a 1-1 count to Brooke Andrews with one out here. Runner on first. Here is the 1-1. That pitch is outside, 2-1. Two-one to Andrews. Brooke Andrews, I should emphasize, with the two Andrews sisters in the starting lineup. George rocks and deals. That pitch is high, and Brooke Andrews has a hitter-friendly 3-1 count coming up with the runner on first and a chance to break open the scoring which we have not seen in a couple innings now. It's been 6-4 since the third inning. Here's the 3-1 from George. That pitch is going to be low and ball four. So the first two runners reach after the initial ground out. And now
that one looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, it was a low crowd in front of us, or below us, I should say. Not too pleased. You can hear some oohs and ahs through our cracked window. But now Bella Bacon with a chance to capitalize. She singled in her first at bat. And she's got the tying run at first now. First pitch from George. That one hits the zone for strike one. Bella Bacon's had a career year. She has career highs in every offensive category in her sophomore campaign. And trying to capitalize here. Here's the 0-1. Swung and chopped softly. George will charge and field. Fires over to first. Got her in time. Big play by Hannah George on the soft roller right in front of the circle. She fielded it. Stayed composed. Made the good play to first base. Runners do advance. So now the tying run is at second base. But there are two outs.
Yeah, and that second out is really key. Totally resets the scenario here. Gives you the force out to end the inning of the first. Don't have to worry about really the guy on third as long as you can make a play here.
Yeah, so now the number 9 hitter, Caitlin Canada, will bat, but not before Jennifer Brundridge will talk to the infield in the circle. Second and third loaded, 2 outs. Nebraska trails by 2, and they have the tying runner at second. We'll see what kind of strategy I don't think they're going to walk. I don't think they should walk Caitlin Kaneda with Billy Andrews due up. This becomes a pivotal. I bet you got to get this run. You got to get this out if you're Hannah George, and she's done well so far. She's pitched 2 2/3 and just gave up the 1 hit with 1 walk.
You're absolutely right. I think this is probably the biggest moment of the game we've seen so far.
Kaneda against George. The first pitch from George is low for ball 1. Kaneda's 0 for 2 today with 2 ground outs to second. And in this pivotal situation, we mentioned Nebraska's 3 for 7, or they're 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. This becomes a pivotal at bat for the Huskers to try and tie this game. That pitch is high for 2-0 to Kaneda. The 5'2" sophomore from Cerritos, California is Caitlin Kaneda. She's got a chance to make a big-time play here with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. Can George get out of this jam? Here's the 2-0. That pitch is low. 3 balls and no strikes with the ever so dangerous Billy Andrews in the on-deck circle.
This is definitely not where George wanted to be in this count.
We'll see how aggressive she is with the 3-0 count. Both sides here. Here's the 3-0. That pitch is low, so a 4-pitch walk is going to load the bases for Nebraska's best hitter, Billy Andrews. And we've mentioned that she hasn't had her best series so far, but this is a chance to make up for it with the bases loaded and 2 outs and your best hitter at the plate for Nebraska. Valamont will go talk with George briefly, as it looks like.
Yeah, lots to talk about here.
Yep, Rhonda Ravel is speaking with Billy Andrews as she gets her batter's glove worked on. Getting ready to this pivotal at bat. You can feel the tension in the stadium. Really good crowd on hand today, and they know what's at stake with Billy Andrews in the batter's box. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Michigan trying to hold on to the 6-4 lead here in the top of the 6th. She's 0 for 3 today, though, but first pitch to George is in the zone for strike 1. Big pitch from Hannah George to get that first strike. And she goes ahead 1-0. Andrews ground out, strikeout, line out in her 3 plate appearances today, but none bigger than this one here with the bases loaded. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. George rocks and deals. That pitch is low to even the count at 1.
She needs to come back with a strike here. Cannot afford to get behind.
This becomes the ever so pivotal pitch in this ever so pivotal game here in the Big Ten standings. Here's the pitch, grounded to short. McVeigh feels it, fires over to first, not in time. The run's gonna score. Ella McVeigh had a tough time fielding that play with the runner Brooke Andrews running right, nearly meeting paths.
I don't know about that one.
And we're going to see Bonnie Thole is going to go talk to the third base umpire, maybe potential interference. Brooke Andrews was running from second to third as Ella McVeigh was fielding the ball, and she kind of had to slow down her throw a little bit to adjust to that, and then fired it over to first, and Billy Andrews beat it out. As of now, it's 6-5, and the bases are still loaded with Cornhuskers.
And Bonnie Thole is very upset about something.
I'm not sure if this is reviewable or not, but a very interesting no call. And they are going to discuss it, the umpires are. This is a pivotal play, potential interference at short. We will see what the ruling is. As of now, it's 6-5 with the bases still loaded and 2 outs. But if this is ruled interference on Brooke Andrews as she was running from second to third, then that would end the inning and keep the game 6-4.
Well, really, the interference in this case would be kind of interesting because it would probably mean that she got tagged out.
Now, it was hard for me to tell. I don't think she tried to tag Brooke Andrews as she ran, but I couldn't tell if she bobbled it a little bit because of the runner. I couldn't even tell if they made contact or if it was just that running in front, she had to kind of adjust to seeing the ball and the runner.
Well, that wouldn't be interference.
I don't think that would be. There could have been contact. Looks like they're gonna go talk to Bonnie Thole, and this does not seem like it's gonna be a good thing if you're a Michigan fan. So we will see officially what the ruling is going to be. What a game, though, and what a play. We've got the excitement. Yesterday was a very exciting game, and we've got another one here today. This has been shaping out to be a really fun series between two of the top 4 teams in the Big Ten. Bonnie Thole shakes her head in dismay, and you know that means that the run's going to score. Crowd letting them hear it. So the bases are loaded with Cornhuskers once again. The Andrews sisters are at first and third. We got Kaneda at second. George is in the circle, and Sydney Gray is in the batter's box with a chance to tie or take the lead. 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. In the zone for strike 1.
While a really big no call there for an out and a run. Michigan's still in the driver's seat here, up 6-5 if they can get out of this.
This becomes pivotal, though. A single possibly gives Nebraska their first lead of the game. George rocks and deals the 0-1. Just outside. Count even at 1.
I have no idea where that one missed, Peter.
I believe it was, I couldn't, our angle's pretty tough. Gray is 1 for 3 today. She had a single, but she also reached an error her last at bat. The 1-1 swung on, fouled into down the right field line. So Hannah George gets ahead on the count. 1-2 now with 2 outs and the bases full. The biggest pitch of the game coming up here to Sydney Gray, the Tucson, Arizona native. The senior, batting .278. One of the biggest at-bats of her year right here. Here's the 1-2. High pop-up. George is under it. She will make the play with Ilakwa moving into the little miscommunication, but Hannah George makes the play herself, and Michigan escapes the jam and gives up just the 1 run. A big-time play as Hannah George ranged over towards towards the middle between first and second, outside the circle, fielded the pop-up as Ilakwa charged in herself too. But Michigan gets out of it. Nebraska scores once, but they leave him loaded. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Michigan leads 6-5.
Yeah, and a really interesting play there to end the inning. Probably the second baseman's ball coming in on it rather than the pitcher who's drifting back. That being said, George sort of towers over and uses her size to get there. Lucky they didn't run into each other. And
they almost did.
Maybe 2 runs score there.
That could have been catastrophic. But in baseball, you definitely see pitcher usually always clear away. In softball, the pitcher will more often, compared to baseball at least, field pop-ups like that. And Hannah George, confident as a fielder, she makes a big-time put-out to end the inning and give up just the 1 run as Mr. Brightside plays here at Alumni Field. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening live to WCBN Sports' presentation of Michigan Softball, the University of Michigan Student Radio. Streaming live on YouTube and simulcasting on BTN Plus here this afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. We've had a great game, and we're going to have a great finish. Bottom of the 6th inning. Michigan leads by 1, trying to get a couple insurance runs. Emerson Cope will remain in the game, in the circle for Nebraska. She's pitched 3 2/3, giving up just 2 hits and 2 runs, along with 3 walks. It's going to be Sealer, Langford, and Erickson. 1, 2, and 3 to lead off this 6th inning for Michigan. The first pitch to Sealer is outside for ball 1. Sealer has reached base in every at-bat. Just 1 for 1 with the home run, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Or excuse me, she's 1 for 2. She reached an error her second at-bat and scored, and then hit in her last. 1-0, Sealer shows bump, pulls back. Looks at a ball, count now 2-0 to the junior leadoff hitter from Monroe, Michigan. Average up to .363. She homered and has 2 runs scored in this game. Game is 6-5 in favor of Michigan. Cope's 2-0 pitch to Sealer. In the zone for strike 1.
And King behind the dish here. The home plate umpire still being a little bit fickle with these balls and strike calls. Like you said, it's a little tough from this angle, but a lot of these look really, really close.
1-2 is up the middle into center field for a base hit. Sealer gets her second hit of the game. Nice liner rolled right through between second and short. And Michigan is 6 for 6 when it comes to getting the leadoff hitter on base in this ball game, which is something you definitely like to see. And here comes Rhonda Ravel to potentially make a pitching change. We will see. I don't see any Huskers in the bullpen, so we'll see if this is a pitching change or simply Ravel speaking with Emerson Cope. With the meat of the Michigan lineup due up, Indy Langford. Indy Langford to step up. She's 1 for 1 today. Cope will stay in the circle. She'll stay in the game for Nebraska, I should say. And Laura King will break up this huddle.
Despite being taken out in the field for this last inning, Langford will come back in to hit.
Yep, she will stay in the game. You're right. Ilakwa came in to field in the last half inning. Langford did have an error earlier in the game, but she is here to hit. She's 1 for 1 today with a runner on first base. She will show bunt, pull back. That pitch is taken for a ball, so it'll be 1-0. Langford trying to get that average close to 300. It's at 298. Here's a 1-0 bunted foul. They fired over to first, but the umpire at home ruled it foul right away. The first base umpire ruled the play out as they threw it over to first, but the count will be even. It's 1-1. A little bit of confusion throughout. The scoreboard said it put an out on the board. The first base umpire called an out, but the Laura King, the home plate umpire, she threw the hands up right away for foul ball. So it'll be 1-1. Sealer stays at first. Nobody out here, bottom of the 6th. Sealer bunts that one down. It's going to be played by the third baseman. Andrews, runner is safe. Langford beat it out.
And that one again, I think a sacrifice bunt, but she finally reached on one. Very impressive speed there from Langford.
Yeah, she beat out the throw. That one, it looked like Bredwell and Gray both hesitate for a split second on who's going to pick up the ball on the bunt. It ended up being Gray that picked it up. I said Andrews, I meant Gray, so I apologize for that. But then Gray threw it over to first, just couldn't beat out the runner. So now the Michigan Wolverines with Maddie Erickson up have 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position. Sealer at second, Langford at first. Michigan trying to score for the first time since the 3rd inning and try to get that run they gave up back and give some insurance before the last half inning or before the final frame coming up. First pitch to Erickson is fouled off.
Yeah, and you said it. An insurance run here would be monumental to take some pressure off the pitching, whether it be Hannah George or whoever they decide to bring in to close this one out.
No balls, 1 strike after the foul. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Cope winds and deals. That pitch is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Erickson is 1 for 3 today. She singled and has a ground out and a fly out today. Chance to get the insurance runs we've alluded to. Cope rocks and deals a 1-1. Liner right to third. Gray heaps in front, touches the bag at third, fires over to first. Not in time. So they get the put out at third. Gray kept the ball in front of her, tagged the bag at third, then fired across the diamond to first, but it was not in time. So Nebraska will get the first out of the inning, but runners will remain at first and second. It will now be Langford and Erickson at first and second. And Kiki Thole coming up with 1 out here in this bottom of the 6th. Maddie Ramey will pinch run for Maddie Erickson at first base. So Ramey is at first. Langford remains at second. And Kiki Thole, who has 2 walks and a home run today, 1 for 1 on the afternoon, comes up with 2 runners on and 1 out. Cope checks her sleeve, rocks and deals. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Langford with speed at second. She took a long lead there at that first pitch. That 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0.
Yeah, and this would be kind of a impossible spot, I think, to try to steal third. But like you said, a lot of speed over there on second base in Langford.
Infield playing standard, outfield fairly deep. The 2-0 pitch to Kiki Thole. Taken for ball 3. So Thole has put herself in a great count at 3-0. We'll see how aggressive she is with the 3-0 count. 1 out, runners on first and second, bottom of the 6th. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Kiki Thole is looking all the way, and she'll take a strike 1. So that will make the count 3-1 now.
Yeah, like you said, there was no way she was swinging at that. It was right down the middle, which it appeared to be.
So now the count goes to 3-1. Emerson Cope trying to get out of this jam and give her Huskers a chance in the top of the 7th. As they trail by 1. Michigan trying to... Emerson Cope will call time. So we'll reset. Michigan trying to give some insurance runs in the bottom half of the inning. I don't believe anyone's warming up in either bullpen. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's going to be outside for ball 4. Kiki Thole walks for the 3rd time today, and the bases are loaded. Excuse me. They're loaded with Wolverines, with Lily Valamont coming up to bat.
With just 1 out here, pretty much the only thing that could go wrong is a double play. I'd imagine anything hard hit is going to get at least 1 run across here.
We have seen 2 pretty wacky line drive double plays today, though. We're going to have another pinch runner for Michigan. It's going to be Riley Carcaborough pinch running for Kiki Thole at first. So you have Langford at third, Ramey at second, and Carcaborough at first. Base passes are full of Wolverines. Valamont in the batter's box. 1 out. Here's a pitch from Cope. That one's low for ball 1. Nowhere to put her if she were to walk. Michigan with 2 hits in this inning and the 1 walk to load the bases. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Cope deals. That one's in the zone to even the count at 1.
Yep, and Valamont knew it immediately. She stepped out, nodding her head.
So count even at 1 with 1 out, bases loaded. Michigan leads by 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Emerson Cope rocks and deals. That pitch is low. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Bases are full. Michigan trying to add to their 1-run lead here late in this ball game. Trying to win this series. The pitch from Cope, low for ball 3.
A lot of pressure here on Cope to throw a strike.
Nowhere to put Valamont. That has to be in the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Cope rocks and deals. That pitch is in the zone. Fist raised by home plate umpire King. And now we'll have a full count with 1 out. And the base is jammed.
And the Michigan dugout going absolutely ballistic right now.
Here comes the 1-out payoff pitch from Cope. Grounded right back to Cope. She's going to fire home. Fires over to first. And a 1-2-3 double play gets Nebraska out of the inning. What a play by Cope, and Cope, the pitcher, Bredwell, the catcher. The 1-2-3 double play. Inning over. Bases stranded. And we go to the top of the 7th with the score still 6-5.
Yeah, and if you're Michigan, you probably couldn't have come up with anything worse that could have happened just then. That is the absolute worst thing that possibly could have happened. And now Nebraska's going to go into the top of the 7th here with, I would say, all of the momentum after that electric play. The ground ball from Valamont was hit really hard on the one hop back to the pitcher. And, I mean, just gloved it somehow.
It was a great play, you're right.
Quickly
Great
goes
play.
home and beats the throw at first on the double play by 2-3 steps. I mean, it was just so fast.
It was a great play all around. What a snag by Cope. Understanding that she had a force out at home with the bases loaded. She fired it to home, and then Breadwell understanding that she had time to go to first, and she got the double play 1-2-3 style. So we go to the top of the 7th, the last chance for Nebraska. You're listening live to WCBN Sports' presentation, Michigan Softball, simulcast on BTN Plus. And with Hannah George staying in the circle, Michigan trying to win game 2 of this 3-game series. Michigan swept 3 of the 4 Big Ten series they've had so far this year. They've won 7 in a row, and they're undefeated at home. A lot on the line here in this last half inning for both sides. The Huskers will have Cope, Blandon, Breadwell here in the top of the 7th.
And Carkerborough is going to be staying in at first base for Thole, and Alakwa comes back out at second in place of Langford.
So it's going to be Cope to lead off, the leadoff hitter. She will take the first pitch low for ball 1. She got out of a jam in the last half inning. Can she tie the game with her bat now? She already has 1 home run today. She's 1 for 2, a home run and a ground out. She's ahead in the count 1-0 from Hannah George. George rocks and deals. That pitch is in the zone for strike 1. Count is even at 1 to the freshman from Topeka, Kansas. The pitcher lines it right to short into center field, and that's going to get through to the gap. Cope is going to round first, head to second, as Conway mishandled the play, and a leadoff double for Emerson Cope puts the tying runner on second base. A streamer between short and past the shortstop McVeigh, between Sealer and Conway in left center. Then Conway took a little bit to field it. Cope rounded first with a little hesitation if she was going to go to second, but she ended up going to second. We'll have a pinch runner for Cope. I missed the number. Looks like 0 Michaela McKinley, or McKinley Maleka, excuse me, at second base. Samantha Bland in the batter's box. Tying run at second. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Crowd didn't like that one. Big opportunity once again for the Huskers. Nobody out, runner on second. The 1-0 pitch. Low, ball 2. Samantha Bland reached on a single her first at bat, but she struck out her first 2 plate appearances. But she's got a big one here. We'll see if she can just, at the very least, if Nebraska moves the runner over to third with nobody out now. Count is 2-0 to Bland. George rocks and deals. That pitch is high, fly ball between center and right. The right fielder, Stevenson, will make the play. Runner holds at second. Great first out there for the Wolverines, as Ella Stevenson ranged over to her right, made the play for the first out here in the 7th.
Yeah, and that's a good little comeback there for the Wolverines in this inning. Needed to get it out without advancing that runner, already being on second.
A huge first out, but brings up the catcher Ava Breadwell.
Really need to see that happen again.
Breadwell will sky this one, center field. Conway is under it. She will make the play. Runner tags for a moment, but will retreat. And that's 2 outs here in the 7th. And the last chance for Nebraska is going to be Caitlin Neal.
And that's just what the doctor ordered. Absolutely switching the momentum right after that first huge hit by Cope. Michigan in the driver's seat, looking to put it away right here.
Crowd making noise, try to get their Wolverines fired up. Caitlin Neal, who reached on an error and scored her last time up. She's also gotten hit by a pitch and grounded out. 0 for 2 today. With the game-tying run at second base, she'll take ball 1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Last chance for the Huskers to try and tie this game. Hannah George has pitched 3 2/3 of relief, trying to finish the job here. 1 ball, no strikes. A half swing right to third. Erickson fires over to first. Got it! And this ball game is over. Michigan wins 6-5. Erickson to Carcaborough on the 5-3 put out to seal it. And Michigan takes game 2 of this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, a really, really great finish there for Michigan. It's a hard ground ball up the left field line. Gloves it over at third. Easy play over at first. Might have had the tag play, honestly, from the runner on second, but no need. Plenty of time at first base, and that'll do it. Michigan will win the series and stay undefeated at home.
Now Michigan will go to 12-0 at home on the year. They'll win their 8th straight game. Since they got swept at Northwestern, they have won every one since. And besides those 3 losses at Northwestern, they've been perfect in Big Ten play. And they've been really heating up at the right time with just a couple series left to go. The season winding down for Michigan. They head to Oakland University in Rochester Hills for a nice midweek road game that was after reschedule, a newly added game. So they'll head to Oakland as the Wolverines sing the victors in front of this really good crowd here on hand, battling the weather to support their Wolverines. But they face Michigan will go on Tuesday to Oakland, to OU, the Golden Grizzlies, who they beat 2-0 in the home opener here last month. And then they'll head to State College and take on the Penn State Nittany Lions before the rival Buckeyes come to town for the final home series, the final series of the year next in 2 weeks from now. And then Big Ten playing Iowa City. But this is a big-time win. Michigan will stay in second place in the Big Ten. And winning 2 of 3, or the first 2 in this best-of-3 series. They'll have a chance tomorrow to try and sweep another Big Ten series, which would be big for the Wolverines. This has been a fun one here. Any final thoughts, Jordan, before we send it off?
Really great game played by both teams. A lot of runs on the board today. The complete opposite of last night's game. Saw a lot of runs early and often. A lot of traffic on the bases. It was really fun to watch, and looking forward to the finale of this one.
Yeah, it should be a fun one tomorrow. 1 o'clock Eastern Time. WCBN will be on the call. We have a great crew tomorrow. I believe it's Kellen Phil and Kobe Siegel calling that one tomorrow. That's a great crew. Should be a fun one. Make sure you tune in to WCBN Sports. We have all of Michigan athletics. Got the baseball game going on right now. Go tune into that one now that this game's done. Michigan and Ohio State doing battle across from us right here. I don't know what the score is, but tune into that since this one's done. We thank you for sticking with us here and tuning in to WCBN Sports' its presentation of Michigan softball. Final score from Alumni Field, the Michigan Wolverines 6 and the Nebraska Cornhuskers 5. Michigan wins Game 2 of the series. Game 3 tomorrow afternoon. But as for Jordan Leff, I'm Ben Peter Nasr. Thank you so much for tuning in. This WCBN Sports BTN Plus simulcast. We'll leave you, as we always do, with a good night, or good afternoon, I should say, and go blue. Michigan wins 6-5.